Walk with the Lord, hosted by Brother Gil on Sundays. We're back at the third segment of Walk with the Lord English version. So yeah, let's get back into it.
All right.
Yeah. So regarding the home church.
Regarding the home church.
Yeah.
That is the current state of things.
Okay.
There is a group of 3 families that left. Well, 4, but one lives out in East Tennessee, which is about 3 or 4 hour drive away. And so we don't get to fellowship with them as often. But there's about four families that left the church we were at because we had disagreements with, especially the pastor's, just how he was relating to people. So it's a blessing, I have learned more and grown more, I think, since leaving that church. Because when you're not relying on somebody else to interpret and give you the Bible, and you're doing your own study, which you can do, being in a church as well, like the Bereans that Paul said, they tested everything to see whether it was true. Have to grow. You have to learn. And so that's been a blessing. Through this process, I've grown, I've learned, and I've had to be very, very serious, about the whole process, because we're trying to figure out how we want to worship God, and how we're supposed to worship God, as many groups have in the past, and different groups have taken different ideas about song and hymns in service and study of the Word. But it's a blessing. Mostly we gather together and we will share the struggles that we're going through, and we'll study in the Bible, and so that's a blessed time of fellowship.
I agree with you, because if the church you're going to, we are still, even after the pastor preaches, we read the Bible ourselves, and if that's really not in line with what the Bible says, then that is also a grounds for you to leave a church. I belong to a church, and I'm still blessed that the Bible is preached. Everything is preached from the Bible. So I do it because reason why I butt into this part is because I also want to explain the situation in America, that not everyone is as fortunate as us. There's not a whole lot of good churches where the Bible is still preached. Most people, especially in America now, they are turning to heresy teachings. So yeah, I'm still fortunate enough, and that's why at the end of every episode of the show, I always give an invitation. I'll be praying for you for this part. It's still also good to find a church, if you ever find one, to have more fellowship with like-minded and in the right doctrine.
There are a part of me that really would like to resume a search. It's kind of,
it's hard. It's written in the Bible. It's written in the Bible. We are in a times that people will not endure sound doctrine anymore. We are at that exact point in time. So I don't blame you for these home churches. We still have the Bible. This is the final authority. Yep.
Yes, sir. So that's part of the ministry that I'm involved in is that home church, and then also where I work. Like I said, the Nashville Rescue Mission has given me the opportunity originally. So I went through the life recovery program there, got off drugs and alcohol, and I graduated in December. They gave me the opportunity to start working there in January. Halfway through January, I started working I was actually originally, I was third shift security. So I was working graveyard shift.
Okay.
Overnights on security. So I'd gone from studying human genetics to working third shift security.
Okay.
So it was very, very different. But because of my background in computers, which is what I had done when I was studying human genetics, I was using computers to do statistics and everything. They gave me the opportunity to do what I do now, which is to work the computer system at the homeless shelter.
Okay.
I get to work with computers, and then I also get to teach the Bible, and I get to talk to people about Christ. I get to talk to people about sound doctrine. So every Wednesday we do a class about the Old Testament.
Yep.
And I talk about how the Old Testament is still very relevant.
Yep.
Syria is the focus of almost the entire world right now because of what's going on in Syria. Well, guess what? Syria was still called Syria in the Old Testament.
Yep.
Jordan has been a focus right next to Israel. And Jordan's capital is Amman, and one of the enemies of Israel in the Old Testament was Ammon, the people of Ammon, or some people pronounce it Ammon. So just how relevant it still is, and how much the Old Testament talks about Jesus. Like Isaiah 53, when it talks about somebody, it talks about that there's going to be one who is going to come, and his soul is going to be an offering for sin. And by his stripes we are healed.
For unto us a child is born.
Yeah, and Isaiah, exactly. I think that's Isaiah 6, right?
Yeah, somewhere. I'm not really familiar, but I remember it's in the latter part of the book. Yeah, but it's also a good blessing. I myself need to get into this. I'm not really well learned on the Old Testament. Maybe we can have more sharing later on off the show. Yeah. Okay.
It's a real blessing once you read it, because you realize that God is faithful.
Yeah.
He lays out all these prophecies, all these promises in the Old Testament, and he keeps them in the New Testament.
Yeah.
So we see the faithfulness of God by studying the Old Testament and looking at everything that he promised to come, and seeing what has come is what he promised.
Amen.
So that's one of the great blessings in my life. Another great blessing in my life is my wife.
Okay.
So as I said, we left the church a week before we were going to be married. Well, we did end up getting married. By God's fortune, he put in my path the very day we decided, I didn't have a place to live anymore, essentially, because I was living with two people who still went to the ministry that I had left. And actually it was the pastor's rental house. So I wanted to get away from that situation as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And but I wasn't going to go live with my wife until we were married.
Yep.
Because that's not right.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, so we're going to get married. I don't know how, but we're going to get married this day. So we started out the day not knowing how. We just knew we were going to get the marriage certificate and do some kind of ceremony at the end of the day. And I actually, that day, for the first time in months, I ran into my counselor while I was in the life recovery program at the mission. No longer works at the mission, at the shelter. So he happened to be there, and I got to talk to him, and he agreed that he would marry us. So because he knew me, and he knew that he knew me well enough to be comfortable doing that, because we were good friends while I was in the life recovery program. When your counselor is someone you work closely with and you regularly with. So that was a blessing. So my wife is actually from Haiti originally.
Okay.
She's lived in the States for about 21 years. And she herself actually came out of Roman Catholicism. So it's...
Okay, so she's a real reformer.
Yeah.
Historically. Yeah. The real... back then, historically, I think. Anyway, that's another topic. I don't want to cut your... Yeah. No, you're right. Martin Luther was a Roman Catholic priest. Calvin
came out of the Roman Catholic Church. I think Huldrych Zwingli came out of the Roman Catholic Church too.
Yeah.
A lot of these people, so they had doctrinal baggage too that they had to get rid of, and so this has been it's been a process. I've seen God working through this process, and there's been a lot of struggles, you know. And I guess the biggest encouragement that I can give is to just seek the truth, you know, with all your heart. Because in Jeremiah it says, you know, you will seek me and you will find me when you seek me with all your heart.
Yep.
And God will not despise a broken and a contrite heart. The best thing you can feel is feeling broken over your sin, is mourning over your sin. You know, that is something, that is a spirit that God honors. Because I believe he gives the spirit of brokenness over sin. He gives it to a person to feel that. And that's the best thing that you can do, is seek the truth with all your heart and repent from sin.
So anyway, how's the situation over there in America? The pastor in our church, he's an American, he's a Texan, and it really also grieves him of how far they are really from godly. Well, we know the truth that it is not really founded on Christian values, right? But America was more godly 60 to 70 years ago than it is what it is right now. Biblically speaking, I don't hate anyone. I don't hate any nation. I don't hate any religion. I'm just pro-Bible. Whatever the Bible says, I'm not legalistic. Okay, there are things that we should not condone them. And America, I think one of the problems now is also it's hard to find a real church that preaches hard on God's word and put it in context. You know, they have a lot of doctrinal errors. How are you coping with this? As a friend here also, how can I help, you know, join you in prayers?
Well, it is definitely a struggle. You know, even at the rescue mission where I work, you know, our two biggest times of the year for fundraising are, guess what? Christmas and Easter. You know, and Thanksgiving to some extent too. But you know, I don't pull punches. I preach openly against Christmas and Easter, even at the rescue mission. I talk about how and there's obviously Jesus Christ was born and Jesus Christ was resurrected. You know, but Easter has nothing to do with the resurrection of Christ. The way that it's been changed, and the most insulting thing to me is that the name Easter, you know, is the name of a pagan goddess.
Ishtar.
So, yeah, taking the name, saying we're celebrating the resurrection of Christ and putting the name of a pagan goddess upon that day is so insulting.
Yeah.
You know, Christmas is a little more subversive. Because unless you know that the Mass is the celebration in the Roman Catholic Church where they believe they're re-sacrificing Christ every time they do it, you know, it doesn't seem as bad. But when you know that Christmas is Christ Mass and the Mass is a perversion, then, and plus all the worldly things, you know, like I said, growing up I was an atheist and I celebrated Christmas and Easter. So you don't have to. It doesn't have to have anything to do with Jesus Christ, and that's why it's wrong. And so, trying to find churches that will not compromise with the world on these traditions is hard, because I don't believe in bringing the traditions of man into the worship of God.
It has been. This is a tough issue to touch on, and you know, oftentimes when we talk about this, when you put the truth in front of them, because most converts didn't know they were also put into a system of cultural Christianity, and to wake up from that. Not everyone would wake up the way we did to open our eyes to certain things. And one of these things, I had a hard time to deal with this issue too. But I always say this, okay? You mentioned Easter. You mentioned all sorts of festivals. They are not found in the Bible, okay? I would openly say this. I'm not afraid of it, because what is not in the Bible, sorry, I don't practice. That includes those mentioned stuff, right?
Yeah.
If you want to celebrate Christ's birth, that should be in your heart every day. Why is it a special day? But
yeah.
The only blessing I have in my current situation is I still go to church that day. As long as the gospel is preached, people hear the gospel, that's the most important thing to me. There's nothing I can do about it further.
Yeah.
As long as that's my stance on this very issue. And it's sad, you see people all over, arguing about this issue. When you put the truth in front of them, even the Christmas tree is condemned, right? Don't tell me it is in the Old Testament. It is in the same essence. The Roman Catholic Church practiced to worship Saturnalia. What is that? It's sun worship, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I know I'm gonna get some backlash with some feelings about this, but I don't really care. I'm not here to please men. I'm here to please God. Like I said, brother, this is what I hold on to.
Yeah.
If it's here, I don't care if I offend anyone.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of you too. It's hard. It's hard to live in this world, brother. I totally feel you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why we look for our home from heaven, a city that is yet far off. But
yeah. If I were living in, if I am living in Hong Kong, I have enough hard time to waking up to the truth, what is happening to our world, and who is running this system at this moment. Sometimes I just pray, God, why did you put me in this exact time? There's a lot of suffering. I'm sure it is much more harder. If I felt this way, you are witnessing it firsthand in the United States. It is very, very bad there. It's so wicked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just look at some of the videos of Black Friday.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Did you see that joke about Rocky? Got he got out of a fight and he won a TV. That's a joke. Anyway, that's not anything related to. But you see the herd mentality. Mm-hmm. This is also a problem with our modern day church. Inside or outside, people are doing it. It should be right. But the final authority will always be here.
And this is another problem with people not studying the Old Testament.
Yeah.
It says, "Thou shalt not follow after a multitude to do evil."
Oh boy, I don't really mind admitting it. It's a shame for me to not spend enough time in the Old Testament, and that's the first time I ever heard of it. It's good. It's a motivation of from a brother. It's an encouragement. There's a lot I still do not know. After the show, I will send you a message, or you can simply message me where to find that verse. It's so meaningful, right? Why follow the crowd? Mm-hmm. In fact, the crowd is against the Bible, right?
Yeah.
So
broad is the way that leads to destruction. Many there be which go in thereat.
Yeah.
But straight is the way that leads to life, and few there be that find it.
That's right, brother. So, is there anything specific you want me to pray for you after the show? It's nighttime here. It's 7:15 p.m. In a few hours' time, I'll be going home and going to sleep. So, I can, I'll try. This tonight, I'm sure I could remember to pray for you. We know that when we promise to pray for someone, it's not always the case. You pray for them whenever you. Is there any specific issue that you want me to be partners with you in prayer?
I think that the biggest prayer that I just pray is, well, first that God will be done. And I like that what all prayed for at churches. A few prayers. There's one in Colossians 1. There's another one in Ephesians 1. There's one in Ephesians 3. And the one in Colossians 1 I pray a lot. And he's praying for the Colossian church. He says, I pray that you be filled with the knowledge of His will and all wisdom and spiritual understanding, and that you walk worthy of the Lord unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work, increasing in the knowledge of God.
Amen, brother. I will do that tonight.
We can pray for each other. Yeah.
Thank you. So, thank you, Brother Ben Grady. Okay, before going off, I would like you to close us in prayer.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do that. And I wanted to say thank you, Brother Go, for giving me this opportunity.
I thank God for the provision, for such a wonderful testimony, as well as the ministry you're in right now and the life that you have. It's a blessing.
Thank God all the glory. Father, thank you for giving us this opportunity, Lord, to come together. And it's the amazing things that you can do through technology that you've given us, Lord. That it's used for great wickedness, but it's also a great potential for good, Lord. And the fact that I can speak with my brother in Hong Kong and we can glory in your name together is a true joy, Lord.
Amen.
I just pray that you'll make these words to go forth and to bring you glory.
Yes, Lord.
That everything will be to your liking, to your pleasure, God. Please help Brother Gil in his ministry. And I would pray for those that are listening, Lord, if there's any that don't know the Lord Jesus, that their hearts would be convicted, if it be your will, God.
Yes.
Just please lead us and guide us by the light of your word, and lift up our weak feet and our failing hands, God, to do with strength, according to the strength that's in the Holy Spirit.
Yes, Lord.
We pray in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen. Thank you, brother. What you having for you should start preparing your breakfast. I'll get to you later after I get off the show.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I'll see you soon. Take care. I'll be praying for you.
Thank you, Brother God. For you too.
You heard what the Lord really can do to someone's life. I am fortunate enough to live in this city, to practice my belief freely. Unfortunately, in other countries, it is not the case. If you are listening to this show, or you're watching, you heard the message, is there any question you have regarding the Bible? If you are here locally, are you looking for a church? Do you want to know more about the Lord Jesus Christ? My email is g0302@hotmail.com. Till next time, we'll be back. Thank you.
Right. Can you hear me?